Scott Manley here with part 6 of the epic brain dump that I'm providing as a tutorial to the epic game that is EVE Online. So we're still working through the various tutorial missions, and we got to part 8 of cash flow for capsuleers. Now the whole thing is that we're going to go out to this hotel and help some diplomats. So I'm going to accept this mission. It's going to give us the weapon upgrades skill book, which is a really good thing to have. I'm going to start training that, so look for it as soon as you get given it. Train it to level 1 because it will let you fit gyro stabilizers, or it will let you fit weapon upgrades, and depending upon your weapon type, if it's projectile weapons, it'll let you fit gyro stablers. If it's hybrid weapons, you want to fit magnetic field stabilizers. If it's lasers, you want to fit heat sinks, and if it's, of course, missiles, you want to have ballistic control systems. Okay, so this is a little tutorial that says check about your overview settings. There's actually a whole bunch of important stuff in here. If you want to open overview settings, you can do a lot of things here. You can add stuff to your list. There are various types of NPCs. There's 39 different classes of spaceship that are owned. You know, if you really don't want to see Titans on your overview, you can remove it. Depending upon what you're flying. If you're flying a Titan, for example, you might set it up so you can only see the capital ships, and perhaps set it up so you can see you know, Hectors and things like that. But you generally wouldn't be interested in every single spacecraft, and so this would help to prioritize things. Yeah, and you can also change the appearance. You can have icons and things like that set up that will appear. You can make different color depending upon your relationship to the individual, and you can also add columns here. So, for example, if I want to know the radial velocity, or more interestingly, would be the angular velocity, right? This will let you know how easy it is to hit. And if you remember this icon here, if I right click on it, show info, you'll see, and I can't show you it because it's not wanting to show you that because it's hiding it. Yeah, tracking speed is 0.49, which is way higher than 0.21, but if I try to orbit these guys, it will go higher. And you'll perhaps see that in the next mission. Appearance, columns, ships. Yes, you can also, yeah, you can add other things that get listed in the description, and MISC, which is all display damage indicators and active module links and things like that. All very interesting. And you can add multiple tabs up here as well. So, like, overview setup is a science that you can spend forever on. I'm not going to cover that here because it really is something you can get very deep into, or you can just download somebody else's setup and use it. Or you can pretty much get by on all the missions with the standard options that are in here. But if you play it for any length of time, odds are you're gonna want to get yourself set up with some serious overview settings. Okay, so we're warping, and I still haven't unloaded my cargo, darn it. I've got my Gaussian laser thingy, Gaussian excavation pulse. There we are. Now I could, if you go to overview, load default, general or drone, all. There you see, large everything. Cloven red asteroids, wall, floating wall. Misko's resort, yes. I'm gonna fly through that little gap right there. See, so I'm just gonna double click, and I'm going to activate my thing, activate my afterburner, and then load default general, because I'm going to fly by this, and then bang! What was that? Oh my goodness, no shields! Quick, bring the shield booster up. Now, the bad guys turn up, and these guys are serious bad guys. They're flying awesome ships. Okay, I cut this off. I'm gonna try and kill this dude, but I may not be able to. Oh, no capacitor! Darn. Okay. I may have to bug out. Because...
Capacitor is empty.
Yes, I hear you. Oh, darn. Really hurting. Really hurting. Not good. Not good. See, my shields are getting knocked down. Now, next one. Next. Aha, web him down. So, these guys are way tougher than the previous ones you've dealt with. This is supposed to be a trap. You can, in fact, just warp out. If you look at the mission, and I'm going to do this in the middle of killing these guys, I can look at the mission, and you see it says objectives complete. So I could just warp out and complete the mission, but I'm going to kill these guys because I want you to know that it is actually possible, and you shouldn't be like completely stuck on this thing, and you shouldn't be running away. These guys are easy meat for somebody that knows how to set up their ship. And there we go. It's just wearing his hull down using my guns. I think I'm maybe a little far out. Again, what I wanted to show was the angular velocity. See that? How low that was? Excellent. So if it went above like 0.45, then I would be missing targets. Okay. So now, was there any loot dropped by any of those? I can't see. I can only see the one. Let's turn to loot view. No! Oh well, so much for that. I thought I might get some sweet loot. Oh well, go back to general, warp back to base now. However, I did probably get some nice bounties from that, and we'll see those bounties at the end of every 15 minutes. If you look at your wallet, this is the one that's this icon here with the money and everything. You have a bunch of different tabs here. Now, journal shows you all transactions. It just shows you when you get prizes, when money comes in. So this is bounty prizes from 5 minutes ago from the previous mission. I won't get the ones from this mission until like 15 minutes from now or thereabouts. I think they run on a 20-minute cycle, but I could be wrong. They might have changed that recently. Transactions is all about buying and selling stuff from the market. And all you can see is I bought stuff from the market. And orders is if I've got stuff for sale or not. And shares is if I have shares in companies, and I do not because the share system has kind of never been particularly good. Complete the mission! Excellent. What am I training now? Still training weapon upgrades. I've got 10 minutes to go there. Request the next mission. Oh, actually before that, let's go to the repair shop because I've got something to repair now. So I can look at this list and find the thing, or you can select everything and just say repair everything. So there you go. Repair the slasher, 1.2% of it, 40 ISK. Sure, I'll repair that. I'll pay 40 ISK to repair the armor. Once you get to larger things, it can cost a lot more to repair. Okay, so I'm going to get a stasis webifier if I complete this mission. What I should probably... Well, I'm not going to touch this because I think propulsion jamming may be a skill that I get. So we've come across a narcotics ring you might be related to, blah blah blah. So we're going to go and kill this stuff. And this time I'm actually going to unload my spacecraft, darn it. Actually, this is the one I want. All I need, I don't need any of these other things, I need these, the ammunition. Stack all. And you know what, I'm going to go back to this explosive deflection amplifier because it doesn't need power. So I will get the resistances, it won't be quite as good, but at least they won't need to spend my power doing so. Okay. So if I want to use a stasis webifier, I need to train propulsion jamming. There we go. See that? Prerequisites, propulsion jamming. I don't know if I get that skill book during this mission cycle. If I don't, then I will buy it, but it's not necessary just yet, so I'm just waiting. The tutorial missions have been changed around several times. Initially there was one tutorial mission, and now there's like 50, so you can go through and you can cover all these things, and I can ramble on for ages about all the things that you might need to know. Now, if you look at the top of the Neocom, what other things do we have here? You just want to take... There is a calendar application that works within your corporation. Also, there is Eve Mail, which lets you send mail to people. There's no mail in this system, but it is a fully functioning mail system. Be nice if you could actually integrate it with real email, but I guess that's never going to happen. Okay, let's fly towards that. Activate damage control. Get in close. And we're just waiting to get in close enough to scan them. Accessories includes a fully functioning web browser. There are a number of sites that integrate with the web browser. The web browser actually can deliver special data to web services so that it can know your current location, it can know what ship you're in, and so people have created things that, intelligence tools, analysis tools that work in the website, because the web app can actually do that. It's basically a version of Chrome apparently that's cut down, and it has no flash or anything, for example, so videos may or may not work depending upon the site in question. I would tend to lean towards won't work, but you never know. I remember very early on that when they were first testing it and they had flash in it, it would load flash, and then if you closed the window, it wouldn't close flash, and so you would be stuck with some Pandora radio playing or something. There, let's shoot it. Come on, watch those guns fire. Hey, these guns make no noise. It's kind of unfortunate. Maybe I'm missing sound effects. That would be really embarrassing if I turned off sound effects, wouldn't it? Where is this? Audio and chat. World level. Oh, look! I completely had turned that all off. Oh, there we go. Look, doesn't that sound so much better? Aha! So I've been playing this tutorial for like 5 hours and I hadn't turned on sound properly. It's an old joke, but Eve does in fact have sound. It's a common refrain. Eve has sound? Yes, it does. And in fact, it got way better. Let's go to loot. Wow, there's lots of loot to grab here. Let me grab it then. Make best use of it. These are rookie ships, I guess. Yeah, so pressing the escape key actually brings up a lot of options here. There's a lot of display options. You can turn off things to make your thing go faster. Physically simulated cloth and hair, you can have that if you like, if you really want to waste your CPU, but since you never actually see that in space, it's kind of pointless. What other options were there? We have low quality characters. Yeah, we don't need any of that. You can. An interesting one is the advanced camera menu. That's useful. It adds extra options for people that are making videos. There's like tons of keyboard shortcuts, literally hundreds of them. You can reset things. You can change the language to English, German, I guess Japanese, or Russian. Eve is big in all these places, believe it or not. It's a very cosmopolitan universe. It's very non-American, believe it or not. Anyway, what else do we have here? Inventory, active ship. The assets menu is kind of useful, although right now all it shows is the one station where I own things. But as you base out of different stations, you'll find that the the assets menu is really important because it lets you search for an item and it'll show you what stations have it. Sometimes, you get into a fight or there's something going on, you're like, find me a ship that's nearby, and you'll use that to find the nearest one. There we go. Oh, loot, EMP ammunition. That's nice to have that. Not that I'm going to be using that against the angels, but all the same, free ammunition is free ammunition. Loot the metal scraps, not worth very much. Sometimes you get items here that are worth a lot of money. It's very random. So Pirates don't drop Tech 1 or Tech 2 items generally. They might drop ammunition, but they don't drop plain Tech 1 or Tech 2. Sometimes they drop what are called named items. That's like that EPS Gaussian excavation pulse. That is an item which is slightly better than the Tech 1 version in some ways, and not as good as the Tech 2 version generally. And they have what's called meta level. If you look, if I look at my assets, here we're going through the gate. Civilian, EPS, yes, show info. If you look at this, it has meta level 1. There's 4 meta levels, so if you compare, and I have activation and meta level. Oh yeah, here's a bunch of things. So you'll see meta level 1, 2, 4, whatever, sort, and mining amount. So generally it increases in this direction. Anyway, we're gonna go and shoot these things. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Target, target, target. And start orbiting away. I haven't reloaded my guns in a long time. It's just one gun load has been taking down all these angel rookies. Yeah, I've trained targeting, so I can now target 3 guys at once. What luxury! Oh yes, that's the way to do it. Oh, listen to those sound effects. It's practically like a battle in space now. I think we should call this some sort of space battle thing. Whoa! Flying past him. Ah, oh, wow. It's much more satisfying now, I tell you. These guys have just warped in saying, "What's going on? Pirate ships have appeared from the shadows." There aren't many shadows in space, generally, because there's not many things. That's the thing about space. If space had stuff in it, then that stuff could cast shadows. But it's called space because it's space instead of stuff. But never mind. It doesn't. It's better than saying better than saying that we added some more pirates because the mission script told us to. And then F1, F2. Kill this thing. And, oh, there's now more. Now we've got a couple of rookies and an outlaw. It's frequently a good idea to go for the weak ones first. 3000 ISK versus 4500. You can generally tell which ones are tougher by the size of the bounties. The ones with the biggest bounties tend to be the most badass. And excellent. I'll get my web on. I'm still using this civilian stasis webifier because I haven't trained propulsion jamming. I think you get the propulsion jamming skill book in the advanced military tutorial. Okay, well let's look at the loot. Load loot. Wow, there's so many things to loot here. Oh, this could take some time. Now, as you get into later missions, sometimes looting the wrecks is not that interesting. Also, mission performance is better. If you do a mission faster, then you'll sometimes get better rewards. So frequently what people do is they run the mission and then they bookmark where the wrecks are in space, and then they come back in a different ship after they've completed the mission, so that they can grab all the loot and they don't have to worry about all the scenery and stuff getting in their way. It's just a better way to do it. Plus, the ships that are good for salvaging tend not to be good for fighting. There is a special ship called the Noctis, which is also another ore ship. I forgot to mention that. It is an ore industrial, and it is specializing in salvage, the Noctis. I remember when the Noctis first appeared, right? It was coming out, I believe, in the Christmas expansion a couple of years ago. Now, when any new ship comes out, there is a mad rush to build these ships, right? Because the first ones on the market are hugely desirable. They're cool. Nobody else has got these new toys. The problem with the Noctis was the blueprints were only available in Ore space, right? Outer Ring Enterprise excavations or whatever. Now, Ore is way out in the Cloud Ring. It's not. Is it the Cloud Ring or Outer Ring? It's out. They're out in Outer Ring, aren't they? Ha ha ha. Which is on the far side of Syndicate. You have to go through a lot of nullsec, and then there's like 4 stations. Now, people knew that there was only 4 stations that they would be able to get these things from, so what did they do? Well, the pirates sat outside with their ships, waiting to kill anyone that launched. And it was kind of cool because there was a large... essentially, there was this mad race to get these things to high sec and then build them so that you could sell the first ones. And I did pretty good. I used my Tengu, which was set up for travel setup. It had a warp core. Was it the what's the word? The interdiction nullifier, right? Which is the interdiction nullifier basically makes you immune to the effects of warp disruption bubbles. I had a cloaking device on it, so I could warp right in, jump through the gate, and then keep going. And I made it all the way up to high sec and built things very, very quickly, but not everybody did. These blueprints, they cost something like 390 million ISK each. I bought a dozen or half a dozen of them, and I sold 4 of them for about 1 billion ISK each. 2 of them I immediately started manufacturing them with. The first Noctis I built, I sold for 360 million ISK. And that's pretty impressive when you consider that the raw materials to build it only cost 40 million. Of course, the next one I only sold for like 100 million. But that first sale was pretty cool. This is me just attacking the narcotics warehouse. Look at it. Narcotics! Boosters, hallucinogens, stimulants, and a small explosion. Yeah! We could take a look at the cargo rig. It might not die nearly so quick. There's a cargo container here as well, which contains blue pill. Now, see this little skull icon? That means that is contraband, and you're going to have a hard time moving that around and selling it. Honestly, a lot of these things are not worth having, right? You see, nobody buys them, right? And to travel through high security space, if you're caught with it, you will be in trouble, basically, and you will lose standing and you will lose money. Drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are bad, okay? Oh well, that exploded. Didn't get anything from it, but a nice looking explosion. Well, let's get back to base. Default, general, back to my base, back to the school. And yep, there we go, and warping through the target itself. And the market, how's that doing? Oh, yes. Lots of different stuff. Ah yeah, interesting thing to know. Here's something you might want to take a look at. So if you go to skills, right, and I say click on gunnery, right, you're going to get this little summary, right? Now, this basically says I have not trained that skill. The green ones are ones which I haven't trained, but I could buy the skill book and train them, right? And the ticks are the ones that I've trained. So if you go through the skills and look for the ones that are green, then you will get, all sorts of advantages. Controlled bursts aren't that important for Minmatar, but rapid firing and sharpshooter, those are both good things to have. Small energy turrets, small hybrid turrets, surgical strike. So all these things, we could get them. But I'm going to skip over them because I don't think I need them right now. Complete the mission. And I get my stasis webifier, but it is of no use to me. Let's unload the spacecraft. Stack all. Okay, fusion. Oh wow, I'm almost out of fusion ammunition, so I should probably... I guess what I'll do is unload this here, and now I'm going to look for more fusion. Fusion. Wow, paying a whole lot more, but I'm going to buy like another 1,000 rounds. It's only 16,000 credits, and it takes only a few of them to make me a few thousand back, so it works pretty well. Fusion into my cargo hold. Excellent. So this mission, they're going to give us, well, first of all, the location of this mission is in an adjacent system. It also says that it contains ship restrictions. When I complete this mission, I'll get the Sharpshooter skill book. That was one that I talked about. But I will get given a rifter at the start of this mission. So let's accept this so I can get my new spaceship. Now, if I look in my ship hangar, I have my rifter. Assemble ship. And let's make active and take a look at it. Now this one is kind of like the Slasher, but it has 3 instead of 4 2. It also has missile slots, so I could train missiles and stick them in those slots if I like. Also, if you look at the bonuses, now this one has 5% bonus to small projectile turret and 7.5 to 5% bonus to damage, 7.5% bonus to tracking. The Slasher, what does it get? So actually, the Slasher gets almost the same bonuses, but this also gets a bonus to propulsion jamming systems activation costs, right? So it actually is specially designed to, you know, capture targets and hold them down while other people damage them. Now the Rifter will be able to fit missile launchers, but I don't have the skills for them yet, so maybe I will go and buy the missile launcher skill books, right? So let's take a look. Missile launcher operation is what I need, and then I need at least rockets. You need 2 skills to use any missiles. First of all is missile launcher operation, which is the basic skill. Buy that. And then you need to use, then you need the skills for any type of ammunition, and rockets is the smallest and lightest ammunition, so I'm going to train that. Now in PvP, the spare high slot on the Slasher and the Rifter usually doesn't contain like a rocket launcher or anything. Usually it would contain something like an energy neutralizer or something, because taking energy from your target is a good thing in PvP. What am I doing? Missile. Missile launcher operation, great. Oh, apparently I did get a propulsion jamming skill book. Oh, hey, trained now to -1. And trained to my level 1. So apparently I have the propulsion scanning, and I completely forgot about it. That's fine, I didn't need it. Well, this mission is not going to wait, so I'm going to go out there in the Slasher. If I really get into trouble, I shall come back and refit my Rifter, but for now we're going to go out and kick pirate butt using this Slasher. The Slasher's nice because it's fast and agile, and when you're flying frigates you really want to be working on the fast and agile part so that it makes you hard to hit. It is entirely possible for something like a Rifter to kill battleship-sized targets, either regular players or NPCs, right? It's just a case of getting in very close and orbiting so fast that their guns cannot track you. However, player battleships will usually have drones to detect, you know, protect themselves. That's the nice thing about drones, is they're small and fast, so they can go out and track targets that are fast and small, and well, that's just the nature of things. Okay. Oh, you know what I need? I know what I need. Oh well, can't do that while warping. I wanted to fit a gyro stabilizer. Gyro stabilizer 1. Oh, there's one. In the system I'm going to. I'll just go there. And these are cross-lateral. These are slightly better. Lateral gyro stabilizer, no. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy one of these, and that means I will do more damage. 2 jumps away. Location set destination. Come on! Let me see that wonderful transition effect. Jump through the cloud. To the other side. Wormholes really don't look like that, but hey, it's a video game, it just has to look nice.
Warp drive active.
And we're still in the Metropolis region. Off Minmatar space, obviously. Now, one of the other things I was mentioning was... okay, I don't see that here. Jump clones. Jump clones I wanted to mention. Jump clones are a medical operation. What they do is they let you have multiple active characters in the game simultaneously. You can only fly with one character at a time, but or one body at a time. But you can have one body that has a bunch of implants that helps you with training and learning skills, and another body which has a bunch of implants that help you with combat. So what you do is you can jump between those once every 24 hours or thereabouts. There's actually going to be a skill added in the next release which will reduce your time that it takes between jumps by 1 hour, so you'll be able to train it and jump clones every 19 hours, I believe is the number. But jump clones are really good as well because you can have one clone, say, down in null security space if you're with an alliance, one that will actually do the combat, and you can have another one that's safe in high security space that, say, is set up for training. So say during the week you don't log in, right? You can leave your main character in the training clone so you train things faster, and then when weekend comes round and you want to get into a fight, you can go there and you can jump to the other target. And oh look, Aura's here, that's interesting. I don't want to talk with her, but I do want to fit, and there's the assets chart, incidentally, showing that I now have places in 2 different stations. I have the slasher, so let's go to this. I'm going to unplug this, which makes me fast, and I'm going to try fitting this other thing, which hopefully makes me easier, makes me do more damage. Now the only thing is I might run out of CPU here. Let's find out. Oh, I need 30 CPU units to fit this. What can I do? What is a man to do? Show info. Attributes. How much fitting tells me how much. It needs 27 teraflops. You see, I suspect that if I look for a regular stasis web, and I left one back at the station, the regular one's probably... oh, that takes 25, but I need to make up more. What is in this station? Maybe I can fit something else to this ship. I'm just going to see if I can refit this ship so that I can actually make full use of it. Ship equipment. Propulsion. Well, there's propulsion upgrades we don't need to worry about. Shield resistance amplifier. Basic explosive. Yes, 20 million. No thank you. Civilian modules. Civilian shield booster. Seems like a really bad plan to use that. Hull and armor, harvesting equipment, electronic warfare. Stasis webifiers. Prototype energy engine innervator. 160,000. But that takes my CPU usage down by 6 points. Well, I can put my webifier offline. I don't really care because I think I'm going to be doing more damage anyway. The other thing I could do is shield boosters. No, I don't actually have. There's not the parts here to do this. I guess the other option would be my hybrid, not my turrets, my projectile turrets. Autocannons, only medium. This will be what I take. A lot of the named items use less CPU, but they don't use any less power. Regardless, I think I can do this mission with only 3 mid slots. It's a newbie mission. It's designed for amateurs who have never played EVE before. And now I know the drill. It's rather easy. Okay, so turn on this. This is my my damage control, which is stopping me. Nothing in my Eve mail. Mailing list. You can join all these things here. The game has support for all those. You can actually, this whole chat channel, there's a lot of different channels you can join here. Using the little speech icon. There's like events, incursions, wormholes, dust. You can join all these. If you speak different languages, there's a channel that will cover your language, so you can talk with people on it. There's channels for people that are trading in all these things. There's people that want to talk about Linux if they like. This is just like an IRC chat. In fact, I believe it used to be implemented as an IRC chat, but it no longer is implemented as such. Okay, now is the moment of truth. I guess I dealt with those other, guys rather well, so I don't expect... missile launcher operation. Well, we'll have to put that on my Rifter for my advanced tutorials. Okay, which one? I'm going to go for this guy. He's closest. And I'm going to reset the default orbit distance to 1000. Set orbit. And as soon as I'm in range, start firing. So if I look at this, show info. Attributes, gives me a rate of fire bonus and a damage bonus. So this means I will do more damage now to these targets. Which means I will make even shorter work off them. It literally is going to be a case of killing these things as fast as my guns cycle. It's just going to be a case of making sure that I keep retargeting things as quickly as possible. Now, sometimes you can't afford to get into the middle of the furball like this. Oh, need to turn on my afterburner. More speed helps. Sometimes you have to be more strategic. You can't really afford to get in close like this because you know that they will hold you down and shoot you in the head more or less. And at that point you might want to use the tactical view, which will let you see perhaps the way things are. Let's bring up tactical view. So this shows things with distances, and you can actually see where everything is. You get a much better idea of what's going on. Some of them include it includes weapon ranges and stuff. When you mouse over yourself, I believe. Oh, maybe not. Oh, when you mouse over the weapon, it shows the range of the weapon. There we go. See, I'm going to mouse over the weapon, and it says, look, that's the range of that. And I mouse over this, that's the range of my stasis webifier. There, weapon, webifier. Let's look at my loot. Because loot is good to have. I'm here to loot. Reset camera. This is my autopilot, which we never use anymore. I'm just gonna go up to it. You can, I guess another thing you could fit in these ships is things like tractor beams, but that's kind of pointless. Tractor beams are used in salvage ships to let you grab, canisters and wrecks without being right next to them. It is surprisingly useful. It used to be that people would get destroyers and they would fit those with 4 tractor beams and 4 salvagers, because destroyers would have 8 high slots for these things, but things have changed since then. Originally, actually for a long time, there was only 1 destroyer per race, and it was only around Christmas that they actually added 4 new destroyers, 1 for each race, and mixed things up a little. The Kaldari and the Minmatar got missile destroyers, whereas the Galenti and the Amarians got destroyers that were set up for drones. Actually, the Amarian one was interesting because it actually got a bonus to energy neutralizing range. So energy neutralizers, you probably guessed by now, those are something that go to the target and they affect its capacitor, and that's really important if you're using hybrid weapons or laser weapons, because if you have no capacitor you can't fire those weapons. It matters less to people using missiles and autocannons and projectiles because those don't actually need power of any sort. But it's a lot of ships that are set up for PvE, for fighting NPCs. They're capacitor stable, but they're not designed to be cap stable while they're being neutered by a target. Oh, I should have probably waited until I get closer there, shouldn't I? So sometimes even a frigate with a single energy neutralizer can put a large battleship into an unstable capacitor state, which means that it just depletes its capacitor and then is unable to repair its shields. Even though the damage isn't much, it's possible for frigates to take down battleships just by understanding how this works. This is of course one of the great things about EVE, that any size ship can destroy almost any other size ship, providing the situation is right. Battles frequently, 1v1 battles are usually won before the battle starts. It literally comes down to who has the ship that is set up in the way that will take out the other ship. And if you give me one ship that lost a battle, it's quite possible to refit that ship so it could have won that battle if you knew exactly what the target had. I mean, that's all about intelligence. It's very much a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing, except that instead of rock, paper, scissors, you've got this giant arsenal of possible plays which, interact in a way which is staggeringly complicated and is debated eternally by forum warriors. Okay, come on, die, you thug. You thug must die. Well, this one's taking a little longer to die. Now perhaps I'm missing that the stasis web of fire, because he seems to be taking longer to die. There. Attack him. Angular velocity, see that? As it comes in and I go around, it gets higher. And as it goes higher, I'm going to start missing. Okay. 2 more targets. Well, let's get after them. Yes. Yes. Okay, and there's that. Oh, okay, never mind. Once I get in range, start firing. Literally, it's as easy as that. The outlaw is over there. Another outlaw. Outlaw is just like a class of spacecraft. Oh, look at that. You can see he is shield boosting. Or armor boosting. Actually, I'm not sure. There was an effect that you saw there showing that he was toughening up his shield, basically. If you look at mine, when I activate the shield booster, there, you see that? That's restoring the shield. Cool, huh? Okay. Oh. No, come back. To overview, nothing. Okay, don't need to loot anything from any of these, so I just click fly towards the acceleration gate. And I will negotiate my way around. I've located your target in this area. He is not in fact inside the Solar Navy's ship. I detect his life signs inside the stasis webifier tower. So this is important. I'm going to drop in and there's going to be a webifier tower here that is slowing me down and making me an easy target. So you have to decide, do you go for this or do you go after the other targets? What order you attack the targets can be important. I'm going to kill these guys quickly because I think that will work out better for me that way. And then I can spend time dealing with the stasis webifier tower afterwards. So you see that there's this effect on me, this kind of wave effect, right? See that? That's the webifier tower working to slow me down, right? That's basically this module but being applied by an NPC, and you can see that it's produced this little icon here to say, hey, you're getting webbed. I can click on it, and actually I will right click on it and it'll give me a context menu so I can see what I have to do. So I'm just orbiting the tower while I kill these other things. Once they are dead, I can attack the tower at my leisure. not going to last long. Now it's just me and you, stay on. Are we ready? Shoot that, and I'm going to orbit his outpost now as well. Stay on stasis tower. Yeah, you'll get different character names. I think one is Wolf. Not sure who that is, and again, depending upon what race you start as, you will get different ones. And incidentally, you know, if you are a Kaldari and you've done the Kaldari series of missions and you want to get a bunch of free Minmatar frigates, you can go over and do the Minmatar missions. They don't mind. I don't think the standing requirements are that onerous. But generally a newbie can go to any of the 4 races and run all their versions of the missions if they really want to learn and they want to appreciate the, I don't know, if they want to take advantage of the generosity. Oh look, there's Steon. Let's take a look at him. His tower is exploding and he is in a capsule. Oh, it's the new style capsule. He says, moments before its destruction, ha ha. Well, before he warps away, you know what I'm gonna do? Shoot him! That's not gonna last long. Almost bang! Oh dear, and it cuts away before you see him explode. That's rather unfortunate. Well, let's grab this cargo container and head home. It used to be you would get messages from the guy explaining that it used to be you would get messages in local chat saying that he, you know, was offering you a new deal. Please don't shoot me! But apparently not. So that's us! We've completed the military tutorial, and so the next one will be the advanced military tutorial, and that will actually deal with much more of the electronic warfare and other things that we're talking about. As I said, each race has its own kind of electronic warfare. I mentioned target painters. They make the target easier to hit. The more obvious or the best known form of electronic warfare in the game is ECM, and that's because people hate when they're ECM'd. What it does is it removes your ability to target other ships when you are afflicted by it. You literally can't do anything except, you know, I don't know, fire smart bombs and stuff. And that is the Kaldari speciality, is ECM. The Kaldari are the only race that actually have a battleship that is set up to do electronic warfare. Yes, I've completed this mission. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to go here, did I? I was supposed to go back here, wasn't I? Set destination. Foolish man that I am. Have I got anything in here? No, I gotta go all the way back. Okay. So that's more time to kill. Abort. Undock. I didn't mean to abort the undock. Hopefully I can refit this ship when I get over there. I've got my Rifter. Space Chaps. Oh, Space Chaps have a small secure container. I didn't notice that. This is an advertising thing. People put these canisters in space and they anchor them. And when they are anchored, they will stay there for up to 30 days without people touching them. So people put up ads for all sorts of things. I remember one back a couple of years ago, there was somebody advertising the end of the world, the prediction that the world was going to end. I thought that was highly amusing. They were saying, oh, the day of rapture is coming. So I tried to organise myself and a bunch of friends to go out in a fleet of ruptures, and that would be the day of rupture, but it never happened. But it was a cool idea nevertheless, huh? No offence to people that believe in the whole rapture thing, but it didn't happen a couple of years ago. Anyway, we're gonna go back to this guy, and we've completed his mission. Ooh, Angel Forsaken Hideaway. That's a place you can go and kill things. Might have to come back here and do that. Yeah, you don't always need missions to find targets. You just need to find a site that has targets in them, let's say. And you can use that with, you get that with probes and things like that. Oh, there's somebody flying around in their capsule. Ah, he would be so easy to kill if I didn't want to lose my fancy spaceship. Come back to the base. Oh, there's somebody flying around in a Tristan. Tristan? Can I look at it? No, I can't do it while in warp. A Tristan is a Galante ship. I wonder what he's doing on this side of the galaxy. More or less, the galaxy is kind of split into 4 quarters in HiSec, with the 4 different races doing their thing. There's a region in the middle called Genesis, which is owned by Concord, and that Concord, of course, being the police keepers. That region has Blood Raiders as its NPCs. Each region only has one type of NPC, incidentally, that randomly appear. And I've mentioned that Amarians have 2 different kinds, but generally you're only going to find one kind of region. Also, there's a whole set of rogue drones. That's another thing. Okay, so what was I going to do here? I was going to train for rocket. Okay, no, item hanger. Rocket! Yeah! Satellite love! And let's unload all this. I'm going to sort things by quantity, that's what I'm going to do, because all the ammunition is high quantity. Item hanger. Yeah, that's not so bad. And maybe I can adjust my ship setup. Or maybe I could just fit all this to the Rifter instead. That might be a better plan. Let's talk to Mr. Advanced Military and see what he thinks. Oh look, he's going to give me the propulsion jamming skill book. Welcome! I've been told to expect you. You're here to learn more advanced aspects of warfare. Yes, so I'd be happy to teach you what you know. Your first assignment would be a basic one, something to ease you in. Clear the area of hostile vessels. I am good at that. Except, let's go and kill those hostile vessels. Undock. And then we'll go in the next episode and we'll adjust this ship a little better. I will probably switch over to the Rifter once I have the ability to use rockets, and that will help. Okay, the swap. Encounter. Warp to location. He's going to give me another spare skill book. You only need the skill books once, and so getting extra ones isn't that useful. Skill books, incidentally, are one of the few things that are not produced by players. Skill books and blueprints are the 2 main things that don't come from players, and there's a handful of other minor goods, but blueprints obviously form the kind of core of manufacturing, and you need a blueprint to manufacture something. If you buy a blueprint, they come in 2 forms. They come in originals and copies. Copies have a limited number of runs. Originals have an infinite number of runs. And blueprints themselves, you can research them to make them better. And they start out with 10% waste materials, extra waste materials. And if you research the production efficiency quality on them, then you can end up with, getting rid of that and therefore being able to build things without any waste at all. You still need the default, materials that go into it, but you don't need anything more than that, which is, again, important if you want to compete. You want to cut that down as much as possible. You can also research the material efficiency is what affects materials. Production efficiency affects how quickly you can build it, and it's important. I guess the time that really matters is if you're trying to build lots of stuff quickly, but it tends to be less important and most people don't bother with it. You can take a blueprint original and make a copy of it just by taking it to a station with a copying slot. To make Tech 2 materials, you actually need blueprint copies. You take a blueprint copy and then you mix it with some decryptors and some data cores, and then you build yourself, or you try to make a Tech 2 blueprint. And you only ever produce Tech 2 copies. There are a number of original Tech 2 blueprints floating around, but they are very, very expensive. And I've decided not to buy these things because I would never get my money's worth out of them beyond having something that was a cool collector's item, I guess. But these guys aren't going to get anything. Ha! Excellent! Let's go and check that out. I know I need to be within 2,500 meters. It's taking me a moment to turn around and get in close. I just feel like a magpie going in and grabbing everything that I can all the time. More metal scraps. Boring. It's just really awesome when you come and you get, like, you know, a 5 million ISK module. Generally the metaphor modules, there's a few of them that are such high demand that, you know, it makes you a lot of money if you can get them. Heavy missile launchers, I believe, may be the one. It may be a really good example. Heavy missile launcher 2, and you have the Arbalest. Yeah, 5 million each, or 4.5 million for Arbalest missile launchers, whereas the Tech 1 version costs 44,000. It just happens that's one step below Tech 2. Tech 2 is harder to fit and is in fact cheaper, but it requires much more skills to use Tech 2 hardware. Okay, Soot Bjar, I have completed your mission. What more do you want me to do? This one says, this may seem a little strange. I think you'll learn something. We've discovered the headquarters of a pirate group we just dispatched, etc. What you want to do is fly in there. I may use my slasher to access it, but... Okay, so what you want to do is take a frigate loaded with proximity-based explosives and fly it in there. Okay. Well, that means I gotta take a frigate. View market details. Which is the cheapest one? The Reaper doesn't qualify as a frigate. It's a rookie ship. So I guess I'm gonna have to do this. Accept. And I get a new slasher. Make active. Assemble ship. And okay, this is all sorts of boarding, stopping, completing. Would you like to know more? Okay, make active. So I've set myself up with an empty ship. And what? Because I know it's going to be destroyed in this mission, I go to the insurance place, which is... where's the insurance? Yeah, here, insurance. It's going to be destroyed, so... I need to rename this, don't I? Because I can't tell which one's which. Change name. Kamikaze. Okay. And let's reload this one. Ah, there we go. Insure. Yes. And I'm going to take the platinum. So I pay 10,000 and I'm going to get 35,000 as payout. So I'm going to make 25k from this. So let's fly out to the target and do it. And that will be the last thing that I do today. And tomorrow we shall do some more. Undock. You're taking too long. Okay, so warp to dead space. Warp to the dead space location. It's a good thing this is rather agile. Looks like there's some German speaking? Yeah. Germans like their space games. I think it's great the way that Egosoft has literally kept their X series of games going. They've never been the biggest sellers, but they've always been very popular with the people that like that kind of thing. And they've really strove to make the X games always do what everyone wants. And I'm looking forward to Albion Prelude. Okay. Jump through the gate, and on the other side there will hopefully be... I'm going to load all, because I want to make sure I find the target so I can get close to it and not get blown up. It would be rather embarrassing if I got blown up before I reached the target with my pile of explosives. Angel Battle Station. There. Fly towards it. Quickly! Oh, look, I've completed training of rockets. I know all about rockets now. But look, closing in on the battle station. Hopefully these pirates don't shoot me down before I get in close. Haha! Yes, you're gonna try, but you know what? I'm here! Banzai! Whoa! Nice. Excellent. Everything explodes. I wonder what's in this. Oh, there's some titanium. It's not worth coming back for. Let's go back to base. And here's me back in my pod again. The most high-tech spacecraft in the EVE universe. Created by the Jovians. Their secrets are locked within them, I guess. They don't really tell you exactly what's going on. Low General. We are back to base. Our mission will be complete and we will be signing off soon. This will be the end of part 6. I'm hoping that you've continued to learn things. I feel that I'm starting to ramble a little as the obvious stuff comes through, or the obvious stuff has all been dealt with. But really this has just been a platform for me to talk about these things and make sure I complete it. Okay, completed the mission. Let's take a look at my journal. And you can see I got an agent bonus, agent mission, and I get a green payout from insurance after I paid 10k for my insurance. So, that was rather profitable. And with that, it's time for me to say, I'm Scott Manley, fly safe.